new government in Israel is the most right-wing government that was ever elected. And what they've been doing basically since they were elected and the coalition was established is trying to change the regime in Israel and to do some really quick changes in the checks and balances, in the way the checks and balances functioning in the Israeli democracy. They're trying to weaken the judiciary, to weaken the Supreme Court, to have basically the right to appoint judges, and in a way to give the only power to the government. Still, I think there is a big difference between limited democracy and to live under a regime that is something else. And therefore, I think this situation that we're going at is very, very scary.
Our visit this March to Brussels is in order to talk about the two main revolutions that are now happening. The first one is the judicial overhaul, the attempts of the government, this new government, to basically get unlimited power by weakening the Supreme Court. And the second revolution, which is happening simultaneously and also together with the judicial overhaul, is the annexation of the West Bank that is continuing full steam ahead. And they are not independent from each other. The judicial overhaul is basically a tool to achieve different ends, and one of the main targets that they are trying to achieve is full annexation of the West Bank. When Palestinians try to go to the international different bodies, Israel also stops it, by the way, with the help of the international community, unfortunately. Yeah? So Israel doesn't see any opposition to the occupation as legitimate opposition, and there is no way to avoid, when you militarily occupy millions, there is no way to avoid violence. The violence is coming from many different elements, yeah? The way we occupy, yeah? Invasions of homes and so forth, invasions of cities and towns on a daily basis, yeah? That sometimes includes mass operations that end up with many Palestinian dead and many more injured, yeah? But also we have to remember that even when we don't hear about a massive raid in Jenin or in Nablus, the daily occupation is also very violent. We see settler violence, yeah, when settlers attack Palestinians and are protected by the military and the police, the Israeli police and the military, while they're attacking, yeah, and many times the soldiers and the police are also attacking the Palestinians, yeah, because that's how they defend the settlers who are attacking.
I think that the discussion about Israel and Palestine and Israel in all the last years has been really limited. I think it's become more and more difficult for people to criticize the policy of Israel and to look at the situation in a very objective way based on facts, which this is what I think we need to do. What should be considered when someone is looking at the situation is what are the facts and what are we as people in democratic societies are wishing for. And there are people that for many years refuse to deal with the Israeli topic or refuse to criticize the policy of the governments in Israel. I think this is their time to take off these glasses and look very, very clearly on what's happening on the ground and understand the urgency and understand that this is a moment in history that can be crucial to the future of Israel and the future of Palestinians. And it's a time to stand up. And it's a time to ever believe in democracy and human rights and civil rights, to stand up and say this is something that cannot be.
There are so many things that are happening without any repercussions, and we are here to say, when you're not, when there is no repercussions, even your best friend, yeah, even if Israel is your best friend, if you want to be a good friend, you need to tell this friend that he's doing something wrong. And if there is no repercussions, this friend will just get worse. And that's exactly what we're seeing for decades. And now we are on really the last moments, and it's not easy for us to say it, and it's not something that we say easily, and we don't want to sound too dramatic, but we are now there. It's the time. So we are here to encourage, first of all, to understand that the statements are not really making a significant difference, and if we want to make difference, those statements, the minimum we need is that they will be way harsher, way more direct towards the strong, powerful victimizer, which is Israel, and not keeping to do this equation between Israel and the Palestinians that is very common. And that's about the statements, but there is much more that can be done. You can be publicly supporting Israeli civil society and Palestinian civil society. You can come and see this reality with your own eyes as a decision maker, as a stakeholder. You can think of different ways to make Israel accountable.